Well, hey guys, we are back in today's vlog. I'm just here in my living room, casual style. And like in yesterday's video, I'm going to start by answering some more questions from over on my Instagram page, skincare questions and the like. And then in the second half of the video, I'm going to be doing my fast five skincare products and a couple of hair care products actually that I tried out over the month of October, which when you guys are watching this is already over, and what I thought, and you'll be surprised because I have some drugstore finds here that we saw together in some of my shopping videos and I put to the test. Picking up where we left off though from yesterday's video, let's get into some questions here because there were some good ones and I want you guys to hear the answers as well. Do I need to stop using retinol in order to shave my face? No. I mean, that's not even practical, right? Like, how are you going to use retinol if you need to shave? You know, it's just, no, you don't need to do that. But you do need to be careful because retinol with long-term consistent use, whether it be cosmetic or of course the prescription topicals, definitely, it compacts the outermost protective stratum corneum layer. And so what that means is that the barrier is stronger, but you also are more inclined to get little nicks and to cause irritation as well. So you need to be careful regardless, of course, but you need to be careful with your technique when it comes to shaving. Always make sure that you get the skin good and wet first. The hair is going to be a lot easier to cut. It will cut more efficiently, more effectively. You always want to put on either a shave cream, foam, oil, shave barrier product, we'll say. You always want to do that. Don't go in dry shaving. Always make sure your razor is very sharp. Don't try and reuse the same disposable razor over and over again that you've been keeping in the shower all corroded and crusty, okay? Because yeah, it's just that there's some things that are not worth cheaping out on. And it, you know, you can make your razor go a little further by keeping it out of the shower so it'll dry faster and not the blade won't dull as fast. But always make sure you have a sharp razor, short strokes, ideally in the direction of hair growth. Although, you know, when you're shaving all around in here, that is easier said than done, which I realize. Try to not stretch the skin when you shave because that pulling taut does kind of cause an increased impetus for ingrown hairs. Don't press super hard. And when you rinse the shave residue off, just pat dry the skin a bit, apply a moisturizer. It'll help quite a bit. But long story short, no, you don't need to stop using retinol just to shave. You do need to be really careful though if you choose to wax, because that's really where you can get into some trouble with retinol and waxing. With waxing or sugaring is kind of a similar issue because there's less of that dead stuff for the wax to kind of pull at. And so it's going to get some of the epidermis and you're going to get little sores if you're not careful. So it is, you know, if you're going to get a wax, then ideally you would stop the retinol 7 to 14 days before getting your face waxed. But facial waxing, I used to get my eyebrows waxed in college. And now that I use tretinoin and I've been using exfoliating acids on my face for years. These are things I didn't use when I was in college. I can't do the waxing anymore. Every time I've tried to get my brows waxed, since even before I was using tretinoin, just doing salicylic acid, it would be like sores all over I mean, I couldn't do it anymore. So I had to stop with that. All right. So I am pregnant and wondering if I should bother with any stretch mark creams. I kind of addressed this in last weekend's vlog, but we'll talk about it again here. So stretch marks are one of those things that you're either going to make or you're not, okay? When it comes to ingredients that show promise for improving the final appearance of stretch marks, again, not making it so that you don't make them, just making them maybe less obvious, is going to be retinol, hyaluronic acid, and centella. Now, we don't recommend people use retinol while pregnant due to theoretical concerns around absorption, which are a stretch, okay? A stretch to begin with, no pun intended. But hyaluronic acid and centella in a moisturizer are logical ingredients to pursue and are safe in pregnancy. Okay, this is a good question. Is it true that applying a thicker moisturizer like one with shea butter on top of your retinoid can cause irritation because it seals the retinoid in? So just taking a step back, when it comes to topicals, one thing that can really impact potency is the vehicle that the topical ingredient is in. Namely, ingredients that are in petroleum ointments that are really thick, greasy, have good longevity on the skin. They resist removal, and they really create an occlusive seal. It makes the ingredient more potent. Okay, a classic example of this is going to be a topical steroid. Triamcinolone, for example, a topical steroid. Triamcinolone in a cream versus an ointment, identical percentages. The ointment is much more potent, okay, because it really drives it in there. And the same can hold true when we're talking about topical retinoids. It can can increase the absorption potentially, the longevity on the skin, and it can increase absorption through occlusion and potentially increase irritation. Now, when it comes to other moisturizers that you put on top, less likely. Shea butter, I mean, not as occlusive as petroleum jelly, but it does come up a fair amount when people are talking about slugging as the final step in their nighttime skincare routine, where they put, say, a Vaseline petroleum jelly all over their face, or CeraVe healing ointment, a petroleum jelly-based ointment all over their face, or Aquaphor, another petroleum jelly-based ointment all over their face. It might increase irritation because ointments do help to get better penetration of things. But shea butter is not really as likely to do that. Even though it's a pretty good occlusive, it just doesn't seem likely. It's not something that we regularly encounter just with thicker creams. All right, someone says just talk about hair vitamins. I have a lot of videos on hair vitamins. The Truth About Hair, Skin, and Nail Vitamins, published 2 years ago, where the titles, the thumbnail says stop buying these. Dermatologist reviews Nutrafol for hair growth, a hair growth secret. Spoiler alert, no. Also, potential danger to your liver. 5 hair supplements to avoid, Dermatologist. Best for hair, biotin versus biosil. And I have even more. Y'all, I have a playlist of supplements, okay? So any supplement, there's a good chance I have a video on it. Collagen, hyaluronic acid, ceramides, astaxanthin. I've got a lot of supplement videos, a lot. So check that out. Can Cosrx Peptide Booster be used along tretinoin 0.05% and azelaic acid 20%? Can peptides cancel out tretinoin if used at the same time? So yes, you can use a Cosrx Peptide Booster serum with tretinoin or azelaic acid. It's not going to cancel any of those ingredients out or conflict. It's fine to use it alongside, provided you tolerate it. Generally speaking, those are well tolerated. So yeah, fine to do that. Are growth factors in skincare cancerous or dangerous at all? Well, if they work like they claim to, then theoretically, yeah, they could be harmful. Just sprinkling on growth factors willy-nilly, you never know if you have some sort of pre-malignancy that's going to thrive off of that. But seeing as that has never really been shown to happen, like I've said in other videos specifically on growth factors, I honestly don't believe growth factors in skincare are doing much other than potentially helping with better moisture retention. Just seems like the likelihood of a growth factor in skincare having a true biologic effect, a precise and desired biologic effect with no off-target effects, it just seems like a huge, huge reach. Kind of like PDRN. So let's move on to the Fast 5, okay? Because this month there were some things that I tried out I was really excited about. Namely, remember we were in Walgreens a while back and I saw Suave had some body lotions, including this fragrance-free one, prebiotics. And so I've been trying it out. Pretty good value, okay, right off the bat. Love this pump bottle, all right? You guys know I kind of whine quite a bit about lotion packaging. 28 ounces, pretty reasonable value here. It's got glycerin, soybean oil, cetyl alcohol, a wax alcohol, and phenoxyethanol as a preservative, and cacao seed extract. Y'all, this was a disappointment. It's very watery. It just does not leave the skin feeling hydrated, moisturized. I like to wake up the following morning and have not only soft, touchable skin, but I like the skin to look plump and firm the following morning. This does not offer that. This is oh, did I forget to put moisture? It's not good. It is not good. And you want to know why I think it's not good? Just, off the bat. And I didn't even really think about this when I first started trying it out and using it, but I honestly believe this sucks because it does not have petrolatum in it. It's really very, very light. It's just not good. Don't buy this. You can use it on the face, but it's not a very good moisturizer. So yeah, it was a huge because I was really excited about this because I love Suave hair care products. They have a bond repair shampoo and conditioner and conditioning mask that is excellent, but they need to go back to the drawing board on this because it is a flop. I do not recommend. And I was kind of just imagining in my brain before trying it that it might be kind of an alternative to the Vaseline Advanced. It's not. Stick to the Vaseline lotions, which you can use on your face, okay? Those are great. Or Gold Bond. I mean, this is a pass. They have a couple of others in this line that have fragrance. I haven't tried those, but if they're anything like this, throw in a scent and it's like, what are we? No. Then you guys remember I bought this also at Walgreens that day. This is the Aveeno Skin Relief Healing Ointment. This is a glycerin skin protectant. And I was really excited about it because you know how much I love the Cicaplast gel around my eyes. It's a glycerin skin protectant with 20% glycerin, and this has 40% glycerin. And I was like, all right, let's see what that experience is like. Plus it's got shea butter, which is very moisturizing. And of course it's Aveeno, so it's got oat, which is good. You know, I love oats in skincare. They're hydrating. They have antioxidants called avenanthramides that can help ward off against oxidative stress. And they're really good for the barrier. I mean, all sorts of benefits to oats, right? So I was pretty happy to try this. It's very sticky, which makes sense. Glycerin, you know, especially when you get up there to 40%, it can be quite sticky. I don't know how La Roche-Posay is able to make theirs not as sticky or tacky, but it can be really sticky. This is pretty thick and sticky, but it does a good job moisturizing the skin. So where I have found I have enjoyed this the most, honestly, is as a hand cream, though it does stay a bit sticky and tacky for a bit. If you can tolerate that, it really does help moisturize the hands quite well. It's great for, say, going into winter with the cold, cracked hands, protecting the skin of the hands. So I've really enjoyed it in that regard. It's also good on like dry elbows, dry knees. But when I was in the desert last weekend with you guys, I did a little experiment because if you'll recall from my video on what's in my travel bag from, oh my gosh, was that almost a year ago at this? I mean, it was a while ago that I did that video. Well, you know, I've been making my way through the travel bag, and a product that I love taking with me is that Cetaphil, is it called Cracked Skin Repair Balm Ointment? That product is amazing. And so I was on the tail end dregs of that, and I brought this to step on in when I knew I was going to, because I knew I was going to finish that on my trip. So one night I put the last remains of that on one leg because I like to use that as a body moisturizer, because hotel air in the desert, yeah, you need something. You need a balm, okay, at that point. So I put that on one leg and I did this on the other leg. And let me tell you, that was a fun experiment because I was wearing that cute pajama set, and one leg, the pajamas were sticking to this all night. Kind of felt like I spilt, I don't know, Kool-Aid on my leg because it was that sticky, and you could feel the fabric kind of sticking to your skin. The other leg was fine. But that's the rundown on that. Now this, I am heartbroken about this, okay? I did a video on Ectoin, was it this month? A couple of weeks ago. It's an ingredient that I have come to really like. It's kind of a little trendy, and it's actually, you know, not a complete waste like many of these other trendy skincare ingredients are like, what are you guys even claiming here? But Ectoin is an extremolite, okay? It's like something that certain microbes have so that they can survive harsh environments, salinity, and extreme temperatures. And it's hygroscopic, it's antioxidant, and it may also help in defending against, you know, environmental aggressors. It's got a lot of benefits. Check out the video for more science details. So I tried out a bunch of Ectoin products. Many of them were great. And I had to try this out from Paula's Choice because it's kind of a, you know, a popular product right now, the 7% Ectoin Booster with glycogen. And I am disappointed with how much I loved this because this was a painful purchase. It was very expensive. It did not last me very long. I went through this very quickly, and not being over the top, I was not over the top with my usage of this. I used it sometimes twice a day because, you know, it says to use once or twice a day. So sometimes twice a day, but as soon as I realized, dang, I'm going through this pretty quickly, I'm gonna just kind of, you know, make it last, use it once a day. I went through it in under 4 weeks. It's a really nice emollient feel. I loved it though. I loved it so much. And, you know, they only have it on their website. I noticed that. They're not selling it at Sephora, or at least yet. Paula's Choice does typically have really good sales. So this is one to try out like Black Friday. They usually have a good Black Friday sale, but it's like really, really, really expensive. I don't get it. But this is good. It's really expensive, but this I really loved. It was a treat to use. Leaves the skin very hydrated, glowy, soft, smooth. It's really not, like, I can't say anything bad about this other than, oh my gosh, it is so painful to buy this little bottle. I had a hard time buying that. This, on the other hand, I will be repurchasing. This has become a holy grail. This was sent to me from Amazon in a PR package a while ago. You can buy this at Sephora as well, as a side note, but I was originally like, how is this going to be? This is a silicone-based hair oil, which I like. Okay, so think of silicone hair oils as, you know how people always talk about, including myself, the benefits of, going to bed with a silk or satin bonnet on, sleeping on a satin pillowcase to lubricate and cut down on friction that contributes to frizz and breakage. Think of silicones as kind of like putting a little satin bonnet on every hair strand, okay? Because they really just coat it and they cut down on that friction and they make it a lot softer. Now they can weigh the hair down, make it look greasy. This is meant for fine hair. I have fine hair. My hair is fine, okay? And I have these little baby hairs that grow in, thank you, iRestore. But when they're growing in, they're kind of delicate. And so they get, I get those little curly flyaways. And that has been great for keeping those somewhat tame and keeping them from breaking. It does have a fragrance. I love the scent though. The scent is excellent. This goes on the hair damp. I put it on after I get out of the shower and I've had my hair in the microfiber towel. Once I take that out, I just put some of that in my hair, comb it through with a wide tooth comb. But I also will put it on dry hair the next day and it's fantastic. Then last but not least, speaking of little frizzy flyaways, this has been amazing. I'm almost addicted to this. It's the Frizz Tamer from Sleek and Shine, Garnier Fructis. It's basically a silicone hair oil in a mascara bottle. Yeah, and there's a tiny, tiny bit left in this tube. I just reordered a new one because I love it so much. Vegan formula, by the way. Argan oil, which is good for the hair. Doesn't weigh down the hair at all, but it's great for, I have curls here on the side and they like to come out and poof out in the humidity and they're cute and everything, but also annoying. And then they'll break if they're left to their own devices because they get snagged on things. This is great for just saying, okay, put your seatbelts on, get back in your seated position, tray table upright. I don't know why I'm going flight attendant on my head. Love this, love this. Like it's the kind of thing, throw it in your purse, take it with you, and it helps you touch up your hair. It does have fragrance in it. If you've ever used the Garnier Fructis shampoos, that's exactly what it smells like. I love the smell personally. I highly recommend this if you have finer hair, because the product itself, it's interesting when you're putting it on, you're like, I don't know if I put too much of this, am I going to look greasy? It's really, the wand I think is part of the magic because it really distributes it nicely over each little hair without weighing the hair down. And then the formula is pretty lightweight, maybe because of the argan oil mixed in there as well. Really, really, really have loved this. And this one is pretty much donezo, but highly recommend these, like, especially if you wear your hair in a ponytail or in a bun, you don't want to have it too tight because that puts a lot of traction, but those little flyaways and everything, it makes you look a little unkept. This helps control all that. And like it says, it does not get all flaky or anything. It doesn't, you don't get product residue that's visible, white chunks or anything like that. 10 out of 10. They nailed it with that formula. Anyways, guys, that is a mix of Q&A and Fast 5. I hope you guys enjoyed this vlog. If so, give it a thumbs up, share it with your friends, and as always, don't forget, sunscreen and subscribe. I'll talk to you guys tomorrow. Bye.